Thank you so much, and welcome to St. Mary's annual idea competition. Thanks for joining us. This is an amazing program. My name's Valerie Bowman. I'm a part-time faculty member teaching a class in the undergrad program as well as the professional MBA. I'm a professional that works in multiple industries supporting startup, turnaround, and next stage organizations. And best of all, I look forward to every year participating as a coach in this idea competition, which is such an amazing experience and so dynamic. It bringing together industry experts, faculty members, dedicated partners, and very devoted sponsors. We are so lucky to have this program. And in such a dynamic program, as you can imagine, it takes a dynamic individual to facilitate it and pull it all together. So with admiration and gratitude for the person behind the scenes, I'd like to introduce, she's cutting me off. You can't cut me off. Dr. Aksu, Berna Aksu.
Thank you, Valley. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here. I hope you're going to enjoy tonight. We have a great lineup of 5 presentations for you. And where's Randy? Oh. I don't, where is he? And the students have been working on their pitches the last few days, definitely the whole weekend. And we got over 20 applications this year. And the first round cut that down to about half. And then now we have the remaining 5. And they're all not here. Oh, they're all here, yes. And Randy's going to MC the event tonight, as usual, as always. And Careers Forum and SIBA has had this partnership for 9 years now, going on 10, and we have been definitely expanding over the years and doing this event as our annual showcase of our partnership and collaboration. And we're grateful to Randy for his continued support over time, as well as the judges, all the judges. So I'd like to introduce Randy Williams, founder, CEO of Careers Forum.
Thanks, Berna. We have a lot of fun. And anybody, who's been to Careers Forum in the room? Okay, the ones that haven't, we're a famous sushi restaurant about a block away. But Karetsu is a term of synergy where our members enjoy, obviously, mindshare, swarm intelligence to be better investors. There's no vested interest at Karetsu. You're just a member. When you make an investment, you make 100% commitment to the entrepreneur. But it doesn't flow back to us. And we're blessed to be in 53 locations around the world. And our 53rd, we just memorialized a couple weeks ago. It's Australia. And so I'll be there next month, and I'm going to talk about St. Mary's over there, all right? Your connection to basketball and St. Mary's is powerful. I mean, Patty Mills is playing, right? Spurs? No. Spurs. Okay. And you have how many other NBA players from St. Mary's? Yeah, right. So Careers Forum is an organization, a member organization. We're fortunate to have over 3,000 members. We have 1,400 fundings. We also top off our best deal flow around the world with a Careers Capital, and that has 133 companies we've topped off. We have a real estate fund that's paying 15.5%. So we are drafting off smart members like this at Careers Forum before Careers Capital gets involved. But I'm going to pick on you, Richard, because you came to Careers Forum because you through your leadership, you've created an entrepreneurial club here. Yes, okay, so how can we support you and your club here?
Hello, everyone. My name's Richard Robertson. I'm a junior business entrepreneurship major here at St. Mary's, and through Professor Slavins, he's here somewhere. There he is. Through his class, we were able to attend a Careers Forum event back in November, and that has inspired me to start a club and a community on campus that's really excited about entrepreneurship. So a few of my fellow classmates are here with me. So if you have any questions about the Entrepreneurship Club, we'd love to answer them. And we're just really excited to support this event.
Wonderful, Patrick. And anytime you want us to come to visit, we have wonderful mentors, and we have obviously wonderful members who want to give back. In fact, Adam's son, who's 24, I believe Spencer's 24?
23.
And we're creating YPK, Young Professionals of Keiretsu. This is going to be a very powerful program. You're obviously not going to invest, but we're going to have mentoring back and forth. Because we've kind of been around the block, and so you're starting your career. Let us see how we can help you. Now, I was at Haas Business School yesterday, and I went down to the house. Now, the house was created by an intern at Keiretsu Forum. Now it's a great incubator at Cal. So let's create an incubator here, Berna. Why not, right? Yeah. And Patrick, your family will fund it. That's how we roll. Okay, so let's introduce our esteemed judges, because they've given up their time and energy. And they're going to introduce themselves, and I'm going to probably do a footnote on all of them because they're all dear friends. Melissa, why don't we start with you?
Great. Good evening, everyone. Hi, I'm Melissa Ross. My background, I've spent most of my career as a healthcare technology executive, working mostly in analytics and SaaS businesses. And I've spent the last year, did a little bit of a detour helping to co-found an accelerator program in San Ramon, working specifically with AI and machine learning companies. I am a St. Mary's Executive MBA grad from 2014. Yay! And it was through St. Mary's that I got introduced to the Keiretsu Forum. I joined the Keiretsu Forum about a year ago in January. And it's been a second MBA, I think, learning from all the members and particularly Randy. And I'm really looking forward to hearing all the pitches tonight. Good luck and I hope everyone has fun as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Melissa, and we're looking forward to support you because you are probably going to be creating a company in the next couple months. And my wife and I have made 55 investments at Keiretsu, and the ones that are doing the best are run by women or have leadership from the board level. There's great empathy, nurturing, obviously scalability, but we love women in leadership, so we look forward to supporting you.
Thank you.
Okay, Adam.
Thank you, Randy. Adam Henderson. I'm a local here. I happen to have a son at Cal, but I was really rooting for St. Mary's in rugby, and they should be in the finals right now. Really, that was disappointing. But my main part of my career has been spent really at the intersection of commercial real estate and technology. I built a company over about 24 years that was a large commercial real estate company with foreign money out of Jordan. One of the great men in my life was actually the chairman of the Bank of Oman in Jordan, and became a great mentor of mine and helped me fund a company over 24 years. We just exited. During that period, I was also chaired a software business incubator, been involved in a number of startups, and been on advisory boards, and really have enjoyed the experience of working with the entrepreneurs, building a company myself, and then through my commercial real estate business, being able to grow and house these companies. And I've been fortunate. We had 3 IPOs in some of the properties that we were a part of. And we bet on those companies early, too. We were the landlords who was willing to take a company that had 3 people, start them in a small office, and grow them. And we've had companies that went out with 1,200 people by the end of their journey with us. So a lot of empathy for the entrepreneur, and it's really the engine of our economy. So all of you out there, go start a business.
Great, and obviously the theme of Keiretsu Forum membership is modesty, and Adam created I think a tremendous portfolio, sold over 200 million, and exited probably about 3 months ago. And I'm fortunate now he's working full time with Keiretsu Forum, and we're doing special projects around the world. In fact, he was created the leadership to open Australia and New Zealand. Thank you, Shirley. Speaking of women in leadership, wonderful member. This is probably 10th year Keiretsu.
Oh my God, you're aging me.
Yeah. Okay, you've been a member for 6 months.
I'm a retiree from Stanford University, where I spent 25 plus years. with Stanford at a research laboratory. I worked for the founder and then a Nobel laureate for about 15 years and then a third director. So when the fourth one came, I said, my kids are coming out of college, so it's a good time to sort of leave. So, but before you start hating on me, because I'm associated with Stanford, I will tell you that I got my undergrad from St. Mary's. And I got my executive MBA from St. Mary's. Yay. And when I left St. Mary's, I accidentally, because Berna over there, my professor, said, hey, why don't you come and visit Keiretsu? They're doing some really interesting things over there. And keep in mind, this was in the middle of a recession. And the thing that was fascinating about that Keiretsu session as I was sitting in the audience was, one, I said, you know what, I got a 401k, maybe I'll start doing some investing. So that was one. But the amazing thing was in the middle of recession, we had people that were still in the garages inventing things, starting companies in the middle of recession when capital was freezing up. But we had angel investors that were still out there investing in promises, people's vision. So I thought that was really exciting.
And also Shirley does tremendous due diligence for companies. We also, for all of you who are interested, we have a due diligence book done by our members, over 400 pages. It's free on our website. You can go to the Apple bookstores. But also shout out to Shirley. She was on a board of a company that went public about, what, now 2 years ago? And the market cap, I was looking it up a moment ago, 297 million. And when we invested in it, it was under, I think, 15 million. So thank you for your leadership for so far, which is one thing cool about Keiretsu. We're trying to make an impact, too, in the world. And this is solving MRSA issues, among other things, for kids with cystic fibrosis. It's great to make money, but it's great to make an impact. So thank you, Shirley, for that.
And finally, before Randy interrupted me,
If you notice, if you ever watch me at Keiretsu, we do have a time frame here. So there, back at you, Shirley.
yeah. So anyway, but currently I'm the chief strategy officer for a cold chain company, and we're moving into blockchain. And I'm also the senior venture partner with Y Strategies, and we do renewable energy and technology transfer. And I'm also, I'm the founder and managing partner for my own firm, and we specialize in third-party due diligence.
Okay.
Thank you, Randy.
There's a test later on all that, okay? Okay, Eric.
Hi, I'm Eric Clark. I'm a corporate lawyer, a partner with Hanson Bridget. We're based in San Francisco. I opened the Walnut Creek office for Hanson Bridget in 2011, and for a short time, Randy was my subtenant. So that was fun to partner with Keiretsu for a number of years. I think I've been here, this is maybe my 6th or 7th year. I'm also a Gale. I graduated from St. Mary's with a BA in history in 1990, which makes me older than I want to admit. But my practice focuses on general corporate law. I represent a number of early stage companies. I've been doing that for a long time. I have a specialty in software licensing and development. I get to be sort of choosy at this point in my career about the early stage companies I work with. I also have a very active practice in mergers and acquisitions and corporate finance. I'm outside general counsel to a number of different funds that focus on early stage companies, and it is fun to work with the entrepreneurs and hear the groundbreaking technologies that people come up with and how they want to be disruptive in different industries.
Great. And he's here because he's got a giving heart also, but he's not here for business. But if you're interested in a great lawyer, see Eric. I do the plug for him. Okay, so as we know, there's going to be a 2-minute presentation here. And there's going to be 4 minutes of Q&A. And then the presenters are going to sit back and just enjoy. But you can't talk during the feedback. And then I go 1, 2, 3. They're going to put up on a scale of 1 to 10 how well you did. Right? And a tiebreaker, if a tiebreaker is going to be between Berna and I to decide that, right, Berna? Anything else we miss? Is this on? This on? Okay, so Patrick, you ready to go? Yep. Okay, so introduction. Momentum first? What? No, who's first? Okay. Okay, again, let's give some love to these entrepreneurs. Put your hands together, all right? Yeah. Make them feel great. You know? Hard being up here, you know.
Yeah, first one. Right?
I'm a Cal Bear, but I came to St. Mary's for my master's. But I had a speech impediment problem when I was in 2nd grade, so my challenge was always speaking in front of people. And so it's not easy. I have great empathy, right? Some of my best investments, by the way, are bad public speakers, but have a great business. But I know you're going to do both. Okay.
Hi, my name is Julia, and we're a team of 3 with some hotel management experience. We're here to present Momento deals. Do you know that 30% of hotels' inventory today in the U.S. is unsold? That's $60 billion of lost revenues every year. We sat down with a few hotels and we've developed a system that will be a new distribution channel for hotels, something different from everything that exists today. And that system is going to increase their last minute traffic. Last minute booking is rapidly growing business right now in market, and you need a new business model for that market. So we developed a solution that will provide direct access to hotels' inventory every hour of the day. It's a flexible platform where the hotel staff can dynamically change their prices. It will tailor to hotel needs and personalize some services, and it will be they will be able to sell that unsold inventory to those last-minute bookers. We will also provide a data collections that will provide business analytics for the last-minute booking patterns once we get all the hotels together. On another side, it will, for the travelers, they will access the mobile app that's focused on the last-minute bookings, and they will get the best deals with the best prices on rooms from different hotels and different services. We already previewed this idea with a few hotels in San Francisco. We got really good feedback on this idea. So how are we going to make money? Considering that hotels today break even at about 45%, we will take 10%. We will try to increase their inventory, their unsold inventory, by 10%. This is $6.6 million a year from those last-minute bookers, and we'll make $92 million.
That was 2 minutes. Did it go fast?
Yes.
I'm sorry, but we're going to
That's
try to
okay.
stay on criteria.
Thank you.
Okay. I thought you did a great job.
Thank you.
So tell us about your business model.
Okay, so we have 2 more members that would like to join for the Q&A.
Great. And time is clicking, so be brief on the answers. Okay, you get the question?
So
Business model.
Business model is basically, the idea is to take a percentage of every sold room and every service. So if a room sells for $100, we'll take 12 to 15% depending on the hotel and where it's located.
And can you talk a little bit about how you're going to acquire both customers and also the hotels? The two-sided marketplace can be very tricky.
So for hotels, we found that a lot of hotels want to work with us. We've been talking to a lot of hotels and they want to sign up. They're just waiting for us to finish the beta stage. In sense of getting customers, we need app downloads. So we're going to start marketing campaign to start heavily have users download and start checking their hotel rooms and prices.
How does your IP differentiate your company from others in the marketplace?
That's a great question. So one of the biggest competitors we have is Hotel Tonight. I don't know if you've heard of them. So one of the biggest things that we do differently is we sell rooms directly to the clients, meaning that you don't have to go through us. You don't pay us, you pay directly to the hotel. And I think this is the biggest advantage. If you have any cancellations or any issues with the hotel can give you a refund. Typically, they're much easier and lenient to give you a refund versus if you have to go get a refund from Hotel Tonight, they either don't give it to you or it takes a really long process to get a refund. This is just one of the examples that we have advantage of.
Okay, Adam, you had a question?
Yeah, I would just addressing the competition too. How do you differentiate yourself from a hotels.com and others that are in that marketplace with excess inventory?
So one of the biggest advantages we have is obviously the pricing. The pricing is cheaper or more discounted because we do hour by hour pricing. Every day, daily average rate changes hour by hour, so hotel can log in and change the price instantly if the pricing go down. It's a lot harder for them to get in touch with Booking.com or other websites to change prices or even change prices on their own website. It's much easier to log into our site and change price right away to basically have that fourth stage to change pricing right away.
And we also, just to add, we tail to hotel needs, where other platforms are, trying to make money. Obviously, they're third party, but we're tailored to hotel needs. So we are directing that application exactly to their needs and to their inventory.
Shirley.
Are you getting ready, are you setting this up to exit and get acquired? What's your target revenue if you were going to do that?
So I think for us, we actually want to grow that same day market for starting at the hotels and kind of making our name in the same day, and then actually moving to different, for us the flights is very interesting, especially canceled flights. We've kind of been working with that idea as well. So we want to kind of tailor towards what Groupon kind of lost on. We want to kind of emphasize on a lot of things and fix things that Groupon was good about it, but we actually can
Great.
do
We're
better.
flowing right along. 1 minute. Okay, other question.
How much capital do you require to launch the app?
To launch the app, we need 300,000 right now to spend on marketing and extra development.
But the app is actually already running. You can guys actually download it in the App Store. So it's actually running. There's deals right now currently on the app, so you actually can see how we're.
Melissa.
Can you just talk a little bit about your background briefly and what gives you the credibility to do this?
Yeah, so here's the hotel manager.
So I'm actually a general manager of the hotel. I've been in the hotel industry for 10 years. Julie's was Wells Fargo, product management.
MBA executive graduate.
Okay. And I'm just basically the IT person that helps build and get the app created and the system in the background.
Last question.
You gave some really good stats in here. Can you speak to where your statistics came from?
Yeah, well, internet is a beautiful thing, but a lot of it comes from Statistic Brain. It's kind of, you can pay that service and they actually find stuff for you, and they do a pretty good model for you so you can present. So this is the biggest service that we use.
Okay.
And also some data from the
Hotels,
that
obviously,
you're
obviously,
in.
Okay. That is time up. Now we're going to have you just enjoy yourself and take a deep breath. And you're not going to answer this. This is going to be probably some comments, but they're not questions. Just stay put. 4 minutes of feedback, then we vote. Okay. Please.
I'll start if you want. So great job. Congratulations. Great job. Just some feedback. I guess I would be interested in hearing you continue to differentiate yourself in terms of the competition, because this does seem to be a fairly crowded space. And I would also just be interested that, I don't have any statistics around this, but my sense is the hotel market is somewhat of a dying market, not a dying market, but a declining market as services like Airbnb and others are sort of, maybe that's an opportunity for you as well, I don't know. But I would be really encourage you to just continue to think about how you're differentiating yourselves, because it does seem like it's a pretty crowded space.
Can't say anything though. Okay. Next comment.
Well, I like the idea. I think your app pricing was right on. We just launched an app and a company I'm involved with, and that was about what we spent to get the app out. So good numbers there.
And that's a Kretzer Forum app that's linking the world right now. That's what you're speaking of. Okay, Shirley.
Yep. And so.
Please, Adam.
Yeah, so I thought it was great, and I thought with the period of time that you have, you guys are very well prepared and well spoken. One of the things to cover is that, in the presentations, is what do you want? You know, make sure that when you're here, you want to express the capital need and what it's for and where you're at. But other than that, I thought you did a great job.
Shirley.
Yeah, I mean, I was very impressed with your presentation given the short period of time. One of the things I'd like you to focus on is your exit strategy. What is that? I want you to define it a little bit better. I want you to identify what is the target revenue you're going after. And I also want you to start thinking about who would be a potential acquirer for this particular business. So investors are very focused on how am I going to get my money out? And so you have to have the answer for that when you go in asking for money, okay?
Eric.
I thought you did a great job. I thought you were well spoken and organized. One thing that's always nice is to be able to talk about early adopters on the customer side. If you have any hotels that have adopted it, that's a great thing to be able to talk about. One note, I see in here that the commission is 10%, but I think you said 12 to 14. You just want to make sure that you sync those numbers and that you're consistent with that. But yeah, I mean, it seems to me with geolocators and so forth, you probably can make a pretty attractive market here. So well done.
Yeah, so we have another minute. You're going to reflect on, you're not going to, obviously, you're going to be sequestered on your vote. Nobody gets to see your vote, but you're going to put up in a moment. But also, we're rooting for you, and you're obviously students, but we'd like to know if you have skin in the game, too. I didn't hear that, but that's okay. And you have maybe capital sources. I like the credibility here. I also like the fact that you should think about channels or exit early. and also licensing, because you may not be able to compete with the gorillas out there. And think about channel partnership and or licensing play. But you got to be careful on that. It's friend or foe. You approach somebody and say, wait a minute, they're going to steal my idea. So you got to be really careful. I like licensing. That's what I've done in my life. I have 53 license agreements throughout the world. And so I understand it, and it's delicate balance between friend or foe. So any last comments, or should we go right to vote? Okay. Are we doing good on time, aren't we, Patrick? Okay, so you guys have you ready to go? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to count to 3, and then we're going to all do it at once, and then we put up the vote. And Berna, are they voting?
Afterwards.
Afterwards.
Actually, take notes. You guys are voting afterwards. We're going to have a People's Choice Award.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Feel the love. Great. Congratulations, guys. Thank you. Okay, great. That wasn't a very good clap. Come on. Can you imagine doing this? Yay. Takes a lot of courage. You know, part of life is courage, and you guys are doing it. You got great content, but it's courage to get up here. Okay, number 2.
Did you know that the efficiency of a solar panel is only 17%? And as temperature increases, the efficiency of that solar panel decreases, losing potential output of your solar system by 20%. Our system is here to fix that problem. Behind us is a system I designed that's based on decades of research, classes I've taken at Berkeley, and other proven systems that are out working today. The system essentially works like, on a high level, works like a cooling circuit. Essentially, what happens is you install our system in line before your hot water heater. It takes cold water, sends it up to your panels, cools your panels down to a temperature where they run most efficiently. Then you capture that heat and use it in your hot water tank. Pretty simple idea, right? But what's really made this possible is that the advances in computer controls and thermal batteries. So let's do the numbers. They look pretty astounding, right? So you can increase your energy output by 20%. You can slash your hot water bills by half. And if you have more teenagers, it might even be more than that. And then the traditional electric solar panel system is about a 7-year payback. When we ran the numbers on a Bay Area home, a 5 kilowatt system, we saw that you could actually bring this payback down to 5 years. But what really transcends all these numbers is the impact that we're going to have on accelerating the pace of sustainable energy, something we really need. So I'm asking today for $2,000 to help make a prototype and help make America green again.
That's all? It's like, what was that movie, right? Right? What movie was that? The Austin Powers? Okay, you done?
Yeah, I'm done. Yep,
Okay, great
2
job.
minutes,
Okay,
yeah.
here we go.
How long do you think it'll take to make a prototype, and when could you actually be out selling the product in the market?
I think it'll take about a year to perfect it. The key is to get costs down because for the incremental amount of efficiency, you don't want to be spending a lot of money for that.
One of the things about solar that makes it inefficient is how dirty the panels get. Can you address the idea of how you address where that inefficiency, the inefficiency is, and then how your system might do anything for that?
Yeah, so you're from you've had extensive knowledge of the Middle East, so sometimes what you can do is you can have the water cooling go as a waterfall in front of the panels, and that'll clean the dust off of it and get your cooling. In an environment like California, where we did our test studies, we don't have too much dust, and we want to kind of conserve as much water from evaporation.
Yeah, Shirley.
Have you filed a patent for this system?
We've done a patent search, but we want to perfect our prototype first before we file a patent.
Okay, it sounds like you're using a lot of off-the-shelf parts. Is that correct?
Precisely.
Okay, that's why it's so cheap.
Precisely.
So, but it also means that it's highly replicable, right? Somebody else could just, in a garage, can put this together.
Well, the proof in the pudding is really the controls of the pump. If you can't control that pump efficiently, you won't be able to actually get that payback. And then also the thermal battery is also hard to replicate.
So you think that's your secret sauce?
Shirley,
I believe
Shirley,
so.
I don't know if everybody heard that. She said, "Is that your secret sauce, your IP?" And you said,
Yes.
"Okay." Eric,
How big is your marketplace?
I think the solar market was $5.9 billion according to IGISnet. Right now, our market is mainly residentials up to schools, so I believe that's a fraction of that $5.9 billion.
And can you briefly describe your revenue model?
Can
you briefly describe your revenue model?
Okay, so the revenue model, it's hard to get that accurate at this stage in the game, but essentially we have the first few years of perfecting the product. Once the product goes in the market, we expect it to really take off because it's a different differentiation from the market right now. It's just voltaic cells, and this is a hybrid voltaic and thermal cell. So we have strong confidence and expectations that once it gets breakthrough, it'll really take off towards the end of that revenue stream.
So you sound like a technology company. Could you also be a sales company, or would you find a strategy to put your technology into somebody else's channel?
Yeah, our idea is to work with existing solar panel contractors, and then also do a social media on the other end of that. There's not a lot of solar company installers, but it's a great way for them to differentiate themselves from the other installers.
I always like to know passion and interest. I mean, you obviously, this is a sector you enjoy. I mean, you need to tell us that. Is this something you have a background in and you think you can deliver and you have the street cred to do it?
Certainly, yes.
Okay. Okay, you have 15 seconds. Last question. Why 2,000? Why not 100,000?
Because these are supposed to be very cheap systems, and after I'm done with St. Mary's, I'll have some more capital to put into it, and then I believe this competition is for $2,000, coincidentally.
Got it.
That's how you know I'm for real.
Good answer. Good answer, Mark. Okay, so well, that's good. You know, now I believe him, right? Okay, Mark, why don't you put that here? Now we're just going to have you take a deep breath. Now we're going to obviously talk about you. So you have 4 minutes to give feedback, and then we vote. Okay, who would like to speak first?
Sure. So with that, does this $2,000, what does that buy me? And then secondly, can you...
No questions. Comments.
Oh, comments. Oh, sorry about that. I'm still interested in the company.
That's good. You got it.
So comments. I think it's a cool idea, and I love your approach to this and how you introduced it as well. When you start your presentation, to introduce your name and who you are, and a little bit of, but that's minor. But it sounds like you have a good background in this, and I thought it was very interesting. I think if you're talking to people who understand this space too, your thermal battery component and whether you're storing the energy and what happens there, some elaboration on that would be great. But otherwise, really good job.
Oh. Just chime in, Shirley.
Yeah, you might want to spend a little time on your revenue model, like how you're going to be generating revenue with this particular product. And the other thing you might want to take a look at is because you're going to be almost parasitic to, let's say, solar installers. Businesses.
I want to hear you.
Yeah, solar installers, you're sort of parasitic to that particular industry. You might want to think about really getting a good patent around your particular system design, and then think about a license model where you're just going to license the technology to these installers.
And you can do that with Hanson Bridget, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Eric.
I have
So-
a recommendation for you.
Since I'm a lawyer, I always think about, capital raise even, and the cost of putting capital in place. So I like to see companies ask for maybe more than they need to get traction. So you're not constantly going back. And,
So we can pay the lawyers.
yeah. No more lawyer jokes tonight, right?
Okay, no lawyers.
So you're not constantly having to go back and seek additional capital and document these transactions. And the other thing is, I agree with Shirley, like the revenue model is not real clear to me, and I always want to know what the revenue model is. I want it to be very crystal clear in terms of how the company is going to produce cash flow and frankly pay the investors back.
As investors, we love self-effacing, we like humble, but we like great content. You brought it. And we just need to know about a little bit more about you too when you present. And then maybe that wasn't talked about. You guys are just talking about the content, obviously, of the company. But we like to know who you are, and more importantly, if you can actually execute. Because as investors, where we make the money is when you scale. Other comments?
So great job. Congratulations, it's done. I particularly like the double bottom line. You talked about saving the earth and saving energy and making money for investors. So that's triple bottom line. My question would be around just in terms of the growth numbers, if the number of units sold is actually big enough. You might want to, if you're going to create the technology, get a patent, do this great thing, I would actually aim higher, I think, to scale bigger.
Great. Any last comments? Okay. Why don't we then vote, if you're ready? Good job. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Lee Sims, and as a real estate broker, I see an opportunity to create a network connecting landlords and potential tenants. Right now, the process goes a little bit like this. Landlords must go through a difficult process and time-consuming process to find the right tenant for their property. While tenants are easily able to find properties, getting a lease agreement signed can be difficult. So, many landlords will engage with a real estate broker. This makes sense. Real estate brokers have a large pool of connections. But the thing is this, real estate brokers charge a hefty fee. So the question we need to ask ourselves is, how can we increase the number of potential tenants a landlord sees, but decrease their cost? And that's where lease comes in. And I think the best way to explain lease is through an example. Let's take Jan and Tom, for instance. Jan is a landlord, and she has a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment. She's interested in someone who has a 700 credit score and a clean background check. Tom meets those qualifications. They're instantly linked together. Now that they've been linked together, Tom can look at the listing Jan has posted. He likes what he sees. He is interested in moving forward and leasing the property. He can sign a lease that Jan has posted to her listing online, and a lease agreement is signed immediately, just like that. Now, this will save both parties time, energy, and money, and not having to deal with a real estate broker. So, with $900 million in potential market cap from 18 million apartment units leased last year, that is a massive market. Yet it still is cheaper for landlords to go with leased over brokers, as brokers took $2.5 billion in commissions last year. With 4.6 million apartment units demanded by 2030, this is an ever-growing market. Thank you.
Yay, good job. Okay, questions?
Maybe you could explain a little bit more on how this works. What's the platform? How are they finding each other?
Yes, so this is an online service. 2 parties will sign up. So with a lessee, they can fill out all the documentation beforehand, and they'll be matched with someone, a landlord, who wants the same qualifications that they need. Right now, where the process is sending papers back and forth, this gets both parties what they need right off from the bat.
How are you proposing to market this? I mean, what's your marketing strategy for getting the word out that this is available to both?
Yeah, so for each party, as a real estate broker, I kind of would take a real estate broker's approach to marketing. You have to start in a very small market, and I would take the approach of actually cold calling people, letting people know we're out here. I've actually talked to a number of landlords and called them up and said, would you be interested in just paying a small fee to get your property sold? They just don't want to engage with real estate brokers, and so getting those contacts, I think, would be most important.
That's only one side of the marketplace, though. What about the other side?
Yes. So for lessees, I would look to create marketing in a small area so that we could target a small group of people before we got into larger markets and have started building up a profile.
Who's your primary competition?
So our primary competition would be groups like Zillow, Apartments.com, Trulia. But what these don't offer is there's no matching. The landlord can post something, but it's my job as a lessee to go out and try and find you. I have to make calls. This links us together, and everything can be done online, which is not a service that anyone is offering right now.
So you need third-party services to provide the credit score, right, and validate that, the background check. Tell us a little bit in that $50 transaction fee, what is your net?
The net in that is approximately $20. There are cheap sites where you can get a $10 background check and about a $15 credit check, and those will suffice for the needs.
One last question.
So your model, I mean, I think it's
10 seconds, Adam.
Oh, okay. The margin here, would you describe yourself, is this a SaaS model? And what is the value, how much you want, and what does somebody get for the company?
Okay, brief answer. Okay, subscription.
I'm looking for $400,000, about $200,000 in development costs for the online service, and then about $200,000 to engage in marketing.
What are you? SaaS, subscription-based? What are you?
No, this is not subscription-based.
Okay.
This is revenue generated once the lease has been signed.
Okay.
$50 fee.
Okay, good. Now you can relax, take a deep breath, and now feedback. Who's ready for feedback?
So my reaction just looking at it my first question was, because I'm looking under the business model revenue potential. It didn't say what the driver was, what the fee was, and I saw it up here, and I thought that is way too low, $50. I mean, if I like the idea that you're filtering, because you're doing a better job of filtering, tenants with landlords maybe than what's in the marketplace. But if you are doing that better job and matching and getting a one-year lease for the landlord, it's worth much more than $50. I think you really need to examine how much value you're adding, to both sides of the transaction, I guess.
And I think to that point, then your margin goes up from 40%. You could, you should, in this kind of transaction model, you should be, 70 and above.
I just want to point out to the judges, these numbers are the same as the last company, so that there must have been somehow, we need to probably not take these into account at all.
It's not your fault.
Not your
right?
fault.
We can blame it on somebody else. Who would you like to blame it on?
They're exactly the same.
Somebody we can point to. No, just joking. Okay.
I would just, great job. I would just say, I think key to your success is how you launch and getting some traction, as you were saying, in the initial market. So follow through on your instincts there. Don't try and go too big too fast to get traction in the right way.
Okay. So we'll have more time for feedback.
Yeah, one of the things that you want to really focus on is when you're asking for money, like you were talking about doing a capital raise of $400K, one of the things that you really want to do is map out the milestones and the use of those funds and over whatever period of time you're talking about. And you should really factor in the fact that investors, and this would not be your first round. If you're going to be out here for 4 years, that's not going to be your only capital round. So you really need to sort of pay attention to your capital runway and how you're going to use it and the milestones that you're going to be hitting with that money, because your investors are going to be asking the same questions. And they're also going to ask you, how am I going to get my money back? Okay.
I'd say you did a great job. And then one of the answers probably is something you could think about improving on: cold calling, which is admirable, and I did a lot of it in my early career. In today's day and age, that's super inefficient, but there's probably figuring out the marketplace. There's a lot of places you can buy lists, advertise. So you might look at the marketing side of your model a little bit better. But great job, great presence up here.
Anybody else? I wrote down, if you want to hear it later, Berna, I wrote down top 8 things I look at when I'm an investor. And number 1 is establish rapport and credibility with your target audience, who you're talking to. And you have, getting back to your point, Adam, you have great presence and you did a great job. You established, I got it, you know. And then you obviously have to deliver content and everything else, but you have a great presence about yourself. Anything else? We have 50 seconds. Any other feedback? Okay, so we'll vote. Okay, good job. Put your hands together. Yeah. Good job. All right. You're ready to go? Tell me if you're ready. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michael Reynolds. I'm the founder and CEO of Local Fun. About a month ago, in January, I had the opportunity to travel to Hawaii for a travel course at St. Mary's. The title of our course is called Disconnect, Power Off, and Unplug. During our time in Hawaii, we were completely disconnected from technology. No cell phones, no texting, no social media, Instagram, Netflix, YouTube, nothing. It was through this disconnection that I was able to enjoy an immersive experience in Hawaii. In a society in which we are constantly overstimulated with notifications, it is important to take time and get away from your devices and spend time outdoors. Upon realizing this, I decided that I needed to get out and spend a little time away from my phone. But after making this decision, I realized that there wasn't anything fun that I could find to do. With services such as Uber, Lyft, and Airbnb, it has become incredibly easy to travel and explore the world. Yet there isn't a platform that connects users with adventures, and there isn't a platform that documents these adventures. With this in mind, I created the Local Fun platform, a community where active, adventurous individuals can share their adventures with the world and try new ones. Our product is a web-based platform as well as a mobile app. Essentially, it has 2 main functions: an area to document and record your adventure, and the second, a list or feed of generated adventures in your local area. Users will have the opportunity to like and favorite adventures, as well as post and comment. With your investment, we'll help people get away from their phones and get out there and enjoy life. Thank you.
Good job. Okay, here we go. Thank you, thank you. Okay, you guys get it? You get it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of get it.
Okay, kind of get it. Okay. Clear it up for us, Adam.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, great job. I have one question, which is why didn't we have Hawaii trips when I was at St. Mary's?
It was the first year.
I need to come back. I want to understand a little bit how you incentivize people to post their experiences. I get people looking at them, but how are you going to incentivize people to post?
Yeah, so we begin to target universities in and around the Bay Area. We want to go in and promote adventures, possibly take buses for the students to try these adventures, and then encourage them to post and share their adventures on our feed. We found that, people want to see what their friends are doing, and they need to be incentivized, but once their friends start learning where they're finding these adventures, other people will join them.
So can you talk about the business model and how you make money?
Yeah, so we're going to make revenue in 3 ways: advertisement, monthly subscription, and possible commission through partnerships. The advertisement will be directly on the feed of adventures. The subscription model would be a monthly $4.99. It would not have any advertisement, and it would also include a monthly packet that summarizes all of your adventures and the pictures that you uploaded, sent to you monthly or 3 months depending on your package. And lastly, we would earn revenue through commission and referrals through hopefully Uber and Lyft by synchronizing their platform within our app.
You
Eric?
mentioned partnerships with Uber, Airbnb, and Yelp. What, if any, traction have you had or gotten with them, or have you reached out to them at this point for feedback?
That's a great question. We haven't. I think it's a little too early in our development to reach out to them.
Shirley?
I'm just stunned. No. I'm trying to kind of figure out, you said the revenue model is sort of kind of following this sort of subscription, ad, et cetera. In each of those areas, you have a marketing plan or an approach as to how you're going to acquire some of this revenue that you're describing?
Yeah, we're initially going to use a freemium model until we generate a good following and then implement the monthly and advertisements.
What are you looking to do at the end? I mean, you're looking to develop this and then sell it to a travel agency? I mean,
Yeah.
Airbnb? I mean, who are you looking at?
The plan is to be acquired.
To be acquired. And who would be a potential acquirer? Give me an example.
Instagram, Facebook.
Any idea what that monthly fee would be when you implement it?
We're looking at $4.99.
Okay.
And then when it feels like there's a lot of competition out there in this space for whether it's Instagram or place you can post and community and feed. What do you think? Who's your target audience age-wise, and what is the stickiness in your model for them?
Yeah, target is definitely millennials. So we're looking 18 to around like 35, and we really like to target the outdoorsy and adventurous individuals. We want to build the brand up as being known as outdoorsy and lifestyle fit.
You know, it's interesting. That could be a trick question, too, because who really is going to pay for this? Millennials may not pay for it, so really your target audience could be the parents, right? Someone's got to pay for this, right? But think about that. You always think, where's the money? Follow the money. Okay, we have any last comments? Okay. So put the mic back and relax, and now we're going to talk about you.
I think it's very interesting, and but there's pieces to put together here, I think, and possibly it's figuring out $4.99 for a monthly subscription seems like a lot for your target audience. I'm not sure, but you might speak to that more definitively. And then how you what is the actual revenue if off of the advertisers? And there is a model in there potentially then, but you have to have the traffic. The advertisers see the traffic. You charge the advertisers for being on the site, et cetera, et cetera. So I think a little more elaboration on the revenue model and breaking that down would help a lot for us to see what the opportunity is. And you need to ask. You need to do the ask. What do you want, and what does an investor get for that, and what's your exit plan? But otherwise, great job.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, I thought your presentation was good. I agree with Adam. I think there's a lot of pieces to put together still, and for some reason the term critical mass just keeps popping into my head. Can you attract a critical mass to make this, a significant enough company? Can you partner with the right companies to help get that critical mass? Those are kind of the questions that are in my head. So I think you have a good start, but you need to sort of, develop the business model further.
You might also want to talk to a lot of people that have gone the freemium model and then try to convert over to fee-based. A lot of times there's some huge friction between free and subscription. So you might want to talk to some people that have been in the business who tried it or attempted it, and you can probably identify what some of the barriers were to get over to the other side. Sometimes it's worth it to just start off with 99 cents for the app itself, just right off the bat, right?
Yeah, to Shirley's point, when you're ready to attract capital and you go to investors or angels, is we think it's big chicken when we hear that word, freemium, because that means you haven't had the gravitas to get 99 cents. Ask for something, Freemium, it's a little passe, by the way, freemium, and so,
yeah. And I kind of like you. I mean, you had this big introduction about going on this adventure, and it sort of kind of came to you when you were unplugged. I actually like the name Unplugged better than local, whatever, fun. Local, what was it, local fun? I've already forgotten.
Local fun.
I like Unplug. I mean, I think that would be a pretty good name.
Any other comments?
Great job. I don't have much to add. I agree with what everyone else said about the revenue model and just being very thoughtful about how you approach that. It doesn't quite gel for me yet, but great job overall.
All right, let's put our hands together. Thank you. And, you know, obviously there's students, but, you know, sometimes we love to see skin in the game. So, oh, yeah, you know, I'm, you know, the $2,000, you know, but I'm putting 1,000 up, you know, just, you know, you're showing us something. And, okay, you guys ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, last but not least, right, Verna? Yes. Okay. Then we can party. All right, the floor is yours.
Hi everyone, my name is Paul Jaguar. I'm a PMBA graduate. I finished in December this year. And I'm here to talk to you about $4 billion, right? That sounds like a really, really big number. Well, that's the number that the New Frontier Foundation gave to the overall cannabis market of California for 2018. My team and I have forecasted that the cannabis subscription box market for the Bay Area will be $20 million for the same year. We know that we can get $2.5 million, or just roughly 12.5% of that. So what are the problems, right? So deregulation since January 1st of 2018 has made it increasingly difficult for established players in the market to change their business model to adapt to the changing landscape. There's also there's no real great professional quality services that exist in the Bay Area. That's where we come in. We're Potbelly. We are the first cannabis subscription box service that offers a personalized, customized, and automated product line in a tiered subscription model. And just some of our advantages. We are a compliant cannabis delivery company from the ground up, right? We're not dealing with brick and mortar stores at all. We're offering the best value for a really great product line. We offer intelligent customization based on user preference, a lot like a wine club, and predictive software so we can accurately predict our customers' next purchase. And we do that in a professional and safe environment. And with that, I'll take your questions.
My address for cannabis sample is 455.
That's also my address, actually.
We're having to teach in over by the quad over there.
Are we at St. Mary's College here? Pot is very progressive here.
Yeah.
I thought we were at Berkeley. Okay.
But on transportational, talk to me a little bit about, is this state specific? You're operating state specific? You're not doing any interstate transportation? You're not
No, not at all. So we are looking at the Bay Area as our pilot. And then everything we learn from the distribution and the transportation, the legal aspects, we hope to take that as we expand into other markets into California. But right now it's California specific.
Have you talked to the logistics people about what are some of the prohibitions in transporting drugs?
Yes, we have talked about that, and we feel that we have a more innovative business model that can address that market need.
You use the term compliant. I see it up there on your slide. Can you explain what you mean by the term compliant?
I mean fully compliant with California state laws and federal state laws. So right now there are delivery companies that are compliant at the state level but may not be compliant at the federal level, and it opens them up to a lot of inherent risk.
You're compliant delivering cannabis under federal law?
We feel that we have an answer to that.
When you deliver these boxes, when I go drive by Shirley's house and I see that box and I go up and I go, I like that box. We know what's in that box. How are you dealing with that? What is the delivery system? And can you speak to that?
Yes. So that's definitely something we've thought about. We're going to make it so when you order the box, you'll be getting, it's an app-based as well as web-based, and on the app it'll be similar to Lyft or Uber, where you can actually see our delivery people, and you will need to be there in person to sign for the delivery. So there will not be a box on your property without you there. It will not be delivered unless you are there, with your ID as well.
What time do we need to be at your house, Shirley? Can you, I think I might have missed this, but what's your ask? What do you need to get the business going? Or
So we're asking for $500,000, and that's going to be building the website as well as the app, as well as the warehouse that we would need to start out with.
And we're also looking at one of the prizes is legal counsel, obviously. We think we have this figured out, but we really need to sit down with a lawyer and hammer out the details to make sure that we are that we're on the right track.
Are there some competitors in the space? Can you speak to that?
There are a few delivery services, but they do not offer a professional experience. Users often complain about the experience. It's cumbersome. They don't get the delivery on time, or maybe not at all. So we are definitely the solution. There's not any competitors who offer an intelligent program customized system or a subscription. Sorry.
Do you have to market to the dispensaries or just the end users or both? Who are your customers?
So our customers are the end users, right? So we are filling the need for the dispensaries, which do have delivery systems, and delivery companies that are starting out pre legalization, January 1st. We're filling that gap where their old business models are focused directly on medical sales, pre-legalization delivery models, stuff like that. Since it's been deregulated January 1, there has been a sharp decline in quality and service, according to the research we've done. If you look up our competitors' apps on either the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, they're about 1 to 2 stars a piece. So they're not doing well.
Okay, you could have chose any vertical. You chose marijuana. Why?
It's recently deregulated. That was a big impact. And the fact that the market is already established. We know that the market is there and that people are going to buy our products. It's pretty much simple as that, as well as that the competitors aren't really there offering the same service that we offer.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, now you get to relax and feedback.
All right, great job, great presentation. Congratulations. I guess I would like to probably hear a little bit more about the $500,000. That seems like a lot of money to start up. So that as an investor, I would probably want to go a little bit more in depth on that. But I'm a big fan. We use Sunbasket for meal delivery, and it's changed our lives. We love it. So I think this is interesting. So.
I think it's interesting too. It's a little tough for me. I'm trying to see, you're in the logistics business, and it sounded like I heard that your differentiator is really your professional service and how you handle a customer and such. So, there's no barrier to entry to that. If that's kind of the stickiness, I get it. It's important, but it's not really a competitive advantage if somebody just ends up being also a nice company too. But other than that, I think the vertical is very interesting, and I think you guys did a great job, and you're dressed perfectly for selling marijuana.
They are? How would you know?
I go to Shirley's house.
Yeah, Shirley. Okay.
You might want to start segmenting a little bit your market and start thinking about the proportionality of each of those markets. For instance, are you looking at what I call mercy medicine, which is that's a category I'm in, mercy medicine. Or you're in the recreational, right? And what's the proportionality of each? Because each of those markets have different barriers to entry. The medical market is more established right now, so you might have an easier entry there. The recreation is still a little fuzzy. And the one thing I want you to really focus on is the federal side, because I think you're not correct that state and federal are the same. They are absolutely different.
So I mean, it's a rapidly evolving area, obviously, and I think I think you should think about the dispensaries a little bit and how you might partner with them from a reliability delivery standpoint. If you got a footprint early, I could see you getting some traction. You need to be careful with the term compliant. I agree with Shirley. I think that any delivery of marijuana is probably not compliant with federal law currently. But yeah, good presentation and good luck.
And you didn't mention scaling or exiting, if you're interested in exiting, and if there's competition out there, which it is. You mentioned a little bit, but I mean, you're maybe at the ground floor right now, but it's coming, you know. And any last comments? Okay, you ready? Okay, we're gonna vote now. Suspense. 1, 2, 3. All right. Thank you. Great job, guys.
Before I announce the results, of course, I'd like to thank Randy and the Kretsu Forum for their continued support of our exciting event. Year after year, this is the 7th year we've done this now. I can't even believe it. And a lot of the judges have been here more than this year, several years. Shirley hasn't missed a single one. Single one. I will have a box delivered to your home very, very soon for that. So thank you, Melissa, Adam, Shirley, and Eric for your gracious comments and the feedback and input you were able to provide our students and alums. I'm sure they're just as grateful as I am. A few other people I'd like to thank, because I know no one's going to listen to me after I hand out the awards. Our wonderful coaches this year: Kirk Knapp, Valley Bowman, Tom Loker, Jan Warhus, Hamza Buvaragan, and Roberta Lee. And our wonderful staff: Kathy Warren, I think she's left, Mary Gleason, who does a lot of stuff in the back office, but makes all of this happen. Oh, there she is. Riley Bowman, who was able to help us with a lot of stuff here tonight. Thank you. And last but not least, definitely not, Robin Walker, who is the star. Without you, none of this would have happened. And of course, our Dean Zan Lee, who wasn't able to be here, for his continued support of our programs. Paul Stitch, Bill Slavin, who are here, our wonderful, wonderful instructors who have helped us make this program, as well as our entrepreneurship major, a huge success the last 4 years. Thank you. And the People's Choice Award is sponsored by the Stull Family Endowment, and I'm happy to present that to tonight's winner. I'm going to use this as a podium. To, can I get a drum roll? Paul. Congratulations, all of you. And I'd like to invite Brad Talmadge from City National Bank, our sponsor for our prizes and our event, our other sponsor other than Kretsu Forum, to present the first and second place awards.
Thank you. So thanks for having us, or City National Bank, and we are a small private client bank owned actually by Royal Bank of Canada. But mainly we are a small private client bank in California. And our biggest piece is that we support small entrepreneurs, and that's where we come in and we start helping our clients from the ground level all the way to when they decide to sell or retire from their business. What was really exciting about tonight is that my wife and I, who's also an alumni of St. Mary's College, graduated in the education. Yeah. We were just talking because she is an educator at De La Salle High School, but she got her degree here from St. Mary's, all the way from her bachelor's and her teaching credential and her master's. And we were just talking about how exciting it is that her economics classes would be so excited to come and see young entrepreneurs like yourself put together a business plan and be able to come up and articulate that in front of people and be able to put those numbers together, because it would be nice to see
for them to see how exciting it is for them to take an idea just like you and put that into play. And then have wonderful coaches like yourself and judges in the market that would be able to tell you what they think and what they think that would help support that business. So kind of felt like I was on an episode of the Shark Tank there for a minute. So, but anyways, thank you for having me, and I would love to present the next award. I think would be second place is going to go to, drum roll again, Paul Givier. Paul again. There it is. Thank you. Good job. All right. And this is the first place. All right, grand prize, first place. Here we go. Drum roll, big one. Julia. Woo! Nice job, Julia. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for helping me present that, and again, for your continued support of our programs, Brett. I was very happy to host you and Anne-Marie tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone, again for coming. And I hope it was an inspiring evening for all of you, whether you're in the entrepreneur seat or in the judges and mentors and coaches seat. That's what we're trying to do. Thanks for coming. See you next year.